Hello, welcome to Miss Peepers Reading Corner. I'm Katrina, aka Miss Peepers. Let's talk about banned books. Throughout the month of October, to celebrate Banned Books Week, we are discussing a different banned book every day. My goal is to educate viewers on what kinds of books are banned, why books are banned, and to encourage you to decide what you want to read and not let anyone decide for you what you are allowed to read. Today's banned book is a children's classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. You may have, like me, grown up with this. It's a whole series, 7 books that are set in the magical world on the other side of the wardrobe called Narnia. We follow the 4 Pevensie children, Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy, as they come across this magical land that they did not know existed. This is basically a fairy tale. When the Pevensie children come to Narnia, they learn that it has been cursed by a witch to be always winter and never Christmas. But there is a prophecy that involves 4 human children saving the day. And so they set out on an adventure and make friends with the various denizens of Narnia along the way. You would think that a children's classic would be immune from book challenges, though if you're hanging out with us this month, you will very quickly learn that that is not the case. For example, in 1990 in Maryland, this book was challenged because it includes graphic violence, mysticism, and gore. There is some violence. I don't know that I'd call it graphic, especially by today's standards. And there's mysticism, though that mysticism is actually thinly veiled Christianity. This first novel in particular is a thinly veiled Jesus story. Lewis's intention was to introduce Christ and Christianity to children in a gentle, nudging sort of way, which, if you didn't grow up in the church, and I didn't, was so gentle that you didn't even realize it until you were an adult. Now it seems really, really obvious to me, but when I was a kid reading these books, I had no idea. But rereading as an adult, Aslan, Jesus, 100%, no question. In 2005 in Florida, this book was banned because of the Christianity. The claim was that it is offensive to non-Christians because it is very much a blatantly Christian story. Here's the thing. A lot of books, a lot of classics contain Christian imagery. Now, some books are more blatant about it than others, but because Christianity is one of the big 3 world religions, and because a lot of the books that we read in the United States and in other Western countries are Western, which is its own problem, Christian imagery is everywhere. In everything that we read. It's in the movies that we watch. It's in the TV. It's in plays and music. It's everywhere in the United States. So if you ban everything with Christian imagery, you're not going to have much left. And that might pave the way for some more diverse voices from other religious backgrounds, and that would be cool. But erasing one for the sake of others, it doesn't make sense to me. Also, as a non-Christian, I'm not offended by this, and I recognize that non-Christians are not a monolith any more than Christians are, but that's kind of the point, right? By declaring that you're challenging a book because it is offensive to an entire group of people when it's actually not, in my opinion, is interesting. You know what does offend me about this book and is not a reason it's been challenged? The sexism and the occasional racism. Look, as I said, this is a book from my childhood and it will always hold a place in my heart because of that. And the story is fun. It is. But C.S. Lewis very clearly had stereotypical gender-specific roles in mind for all of the characters, that men fight and women are homemakers. These books were released in the 50s. They represent the time period, but there are so many instances throughout the book of this blatant sexism. And yet the challengers don't seem bothered by that, which I find interesting. There's also a bit of racism in this book, and I think, and I'm operating off of memory because it's been a while, I think some of the other books in the series have a little bit more than this one does. But as I say in all of my videos, this does not mean that I think these should be challenged or banned. I'm anti-censorship, as you all probably know pretty well by now. And while I think it's important to be able to discuss these things and to understand the context in which the book is written, not to excuse those views, but to understand them better, and to take from each book the things that you appreciate and the things that serve you, and leave the rest, not unexamined, but just behind. So tell me, have you read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or anything else by C.S. Lewis? What did you think? And either way, I'll see you in the next one.